Let me tell you, Nate Nohling, no Jacoby Myers. It was always going to happen in a slate that Jacoby Myers did not play. Nate Nohling was going to win the Gillcast 3-man. I have done, I think, a very good job of not tilting about DFS results this season. I'm tilting pretty hard about DFS results from today. We're obviously going to get into that as we recap our DFS lineups and cash games on DraftKings this week. Let's actually just before we get in lineups, let's just start here. Is Breece Hall as stone chalk and being a New York Jet failing the most obvious thing in the history of fantasy football? Was there ever a scenario where you pictured this working out well as you submitted Breece Hall? Because I think I knew Breece Hall would indeed be terrible.
Did either of you use Breece Hall in any GPP lineups?
Yes.
I used him in one on FanDuel. 0
for me. And that should be the telltale sign that you're an idiot if you play him in cash, that you don't think he's got, the ability to get there, and he doesn't, and he didn't. And at least Justin Fields got benched, but Jesus Christ. I forget who it was. Somebody put out a tweet and said the projections have these 5 players wrong, and number one was Breece Hall.
Chris Wecht from Fantasy Points.
This sharp ass dude. The projection was indeed wrong. Poor Breece Hall. Free him.
Free Breece Hall. I guess just from a top level, this was, I felt, a slate for cash games that was pretty hard to figure out. I thought the only locks were Quinshon Judkins and CeeDee Lamb. Really, outside of that, I did not think that
Rashee Rice.
Oh, sorry, yes. And Rashee Rice. Sorry, yes. Yeah. Rashee Rice, Quinshon Judkins, and CeeDee Lamb were the locks. I thought you could have played Daniels in cash. I thought you could have played Mahomes in cash. Trust me, we are going to get to Jaden Daniels and his hamstring injury. I thought that Olave was in play. I thought that Michael Pittman Jr. was in play. Tight end was tough. Because I thought Ertz was clearly the tight end play. But I also started to fidget around with lineups with McBride or Warren when there was the Josh Jacobs stuff. And ultimately, I think probably my lineups would have been better if I would have played it that Jacobs was a legit game time decision. I mean, I think Jacobs was always going to play, but I don't know. Like, I was planning on, if Jacobs was out, I was for sure lock 100% playing Emmanuel Wilson. Did you guys agree about that? That if Jacobs was out, you were for sure playing Wilson?
No.
I didn't think it was for sure. I thought it was definitely like a possibility, but I think there was going to be a split workload and potential just like Green Bay inefficiency with Jacobs out, that to give up one of your running back positions, that could have been a bad play. Like, you could have gotten 8 rushing attempts, 3 targets.
Could have gotten Breece Hall's points from Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah, you could have gotten 14 receiving yards and 2 receptions for 7.2, and that would kill you in cash games.
Yeah. So this is the team that I played. I played Jaden Daniels. I played Breece Hall. I played Quinshon Judkins. I played CeeDee Lamb. I did go Chris Moore in the end, knowing that Chris Moore obviously sucks. I played Rashee Rice, of course. I did play Zach Ertz. I played Jonathan Taylor, and I played the Arizona Cardinals defense. I tried like all kinds of shit to get off the Arizona defense. Ultimately, it would have been not playing Breece, and it would have been playing another 6K. It would have been playing another running back.
You essentially had such conviction that Zach Ertz was the play.
It was Ertz. I had such conviction in Ertz. Yeah.
Yeah. That you didn't want to do anything else, right? You didn't want to, the couple $100 that you could have used to go from Ertz down to Mayer, could have got you Patrick Mahomes and could have got you a couple ticks up on defense.
Could have got me to the Panthers defense, which is obviously what I had.
No. The Panthers were 400 more.
Yeah.
So, because this was the 2v2. So this was the 2v2 that I was debating all the way up until lock. It was Chris Olave and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
You considered JCM in cash? You were one of those
for the swap, for them, because this is going to get convoluted, but follow me. So either it was you play Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or no, sorry, it was Javonte. My apologies, Javonte. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was Javonte. It was Chris Olave, Javonte versus Chris Moore, Jonathan Taylor. That was the swap. And there was a defense in there, and there were a bunch of different permutations, but it all kind of led from what do you do if Josh Jacobs is ruled out? Ultimately, I just decided, I was like, dude, I'm fucking playing Jonathan Taylor. Like, it's just at the end of the day, this dude is projected for a bazillion points. It's the team jam him in. Now, there was not that I would have done this, but there was this team, obviously, with Arondé Gadsden and the Panthers defense scores a bazillion points. I don't think I was just never not playing Ertz. When Debo gets ruled out, I'm playing Ertz at a 1 billion% clip. Like, it's just I felt like he was a stone cold must.
I obviously didn't feel that way. I didn't play Ertz. I mean, Ertz, dude, his role doesn't change. If
It's not
Debo
about
Samuel's out, it's not like they're going to start giving Zach Ertz, Debo Samuel's touches. Start giving him running back shit. And
but where do you think the scoring is going to go? I mean,
yeah,
you knew they had the team total that they did. You know Dallas's defense is what it is. Like, Jaden Daniels is going to put up points. You not playing Ertz and just trusting that it's all going to come through more. I mean, I don't know. I'd be surprised. Fading Ertz is less of a Ertz play and more of a tight end on that team total play.
I was actually surprised with these ownerships. So Jonathan Taylor was only 45%. Ertz was only 34%. How about Rashee Rice only being 86, not 95, not 100
Yeah.
in the massive $50 double up? Yeah. CeeDee Lamb only 72. And then I guess there's a bunch of geniuses who play these games that are fucking smarter than me, because Breece Hall, despite being projected as the stone nuts, is only 50% owned. Those are a bunch of people who looked at that Breece Hall projection and said, rightfully said, that's nonsense, bro. I'm not doing it.
They knew ball.
They knew ball. There's a little bit, it's more of an art than a science. And looking at that Breece Hall projection, yeah, I think at Run the Sims, we had him for like 18.2. ETR had him for like 18 something. Like,
Price adjusted, he had the best projection by far.
He had the best projection on the site.
How much was Javonte?
6,700.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breece was the best price adjusted running back play. And I mean, any projection you would have looked at. So if you didn't play him, it's because you IKB'd the projections.
Straight up no ball.
And this is kind of funny. So you guys can see my lineup did not cash any double ups here. I wonder if a lot of people in the head-to-head lobbies played bad, because I got like a decent amount of money back. I played about $1,000. I got $700 back in cash. I really have no idea how that happened, because my team is objectively bad. So Daniels gets beat by Mahomes easily. Breece Hall loses to Javonte easily. Chris Moore gets fucking dunked on. In fact, Chris Moore gets dunked on so bad that in the Javonte Moore 2v2, even with 34 from Chris Taylor, doesn't that still lose? It's close, right?
The
close.
The reason in head-to-heads you probably did okay is because a lot of people played JCM, and if you played JCM and Breece,
you lost. Yeah. So I guess I could have been tilting more. I also had a really good tournament team, so maybe I don't need to be but we're going to get there. I'm going to save the Nate reveal. We're going to save the Nate reveal. All right, Sammy, you played Patrick Mahomes. Good job by you. Thanks. Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins, Sedarian Lamb, Chris Moore, Rashee Rice, Michael Mayer, Jonathan Taylor, and the New York Football Giants defense. You basically played what I did. You played Mayer Giants instead. You played Mahomes, Mayer Giants instead of Daniels, Ertz, Cardinals.
Yeah, I felt when you looked at the projections, Mahomes and Jaden Daniels came out really similarly. And I think that's fair. But I felt very strongly that Mahomes was going to smash. And, not that Daniels couldn't. He's a great play. But with all of his weapons out, there was a lot of, like, I don't know, structural variance in that team, right? And we saw it come to pass. And frankly, it sucks about Mahomes because, he was out in the third quarter because they were smashing so hard.
Sammy, he only
So
played
was Daniel.
he only
To be
played 5
clear.
drives.
He only played 5 drives. Yeah.
Mahomes played 5 drives. They averaged 80.2 yards per drive. They scored on all 5 of them, and then it was done.
Yeah. So really, I'm angry at myself because I almost played the team that I wanted to play, and you guys like shamed me off of it. And I'm like super upset about this because the team that I wanted to play had Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. And it was Brissett.
I've got it right here. It was Brissett, Brees, Judkins, Lamb, Olave, Rice, Mayer, JT, Titans defense.
It smashes because it has Olave, and Brissett did great. Like Brissett did totally fine. And instead,
honestly, Sammy, I'd like to apologize right now. That I would have like paying up for quarterback in the current meta of the NFL where it's so hard to get the 300-yard bonus because teams don't gain any yards. I think is like actually pretty rational.
Yeah, and Brissett's like highly decent. So I thought that was a good team. And basically what I did, I mean, I was mentally weak and let you guys shame me off of it. But I also thought, look, when I'm building this team, you have to compromise somewhere. What's the spot that I'm least likely to get killed by? Right. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, Mahomes could dust me. If I play Brissett and other people have Mahomes, I could get buried there. Right. If I don't play Jonathan Taylor, he could bury me. I got to play Jonathan Taylor. If I don't play Chris Olave, you know what? Chris Olave never buries anybody. It's going to be fine. And what happens? Chris Olave buries us. He buries us, dude. And you know what? Like it was like unintentional comedy because Olave did exactly what happened last week where he had like 98 yards.
He just scored the touchdowns.
Yeah, he just scored touchdowns this week, but he was like 2 receptions for 6 yards deep into the second quarter, I think. And then just like puts up 70 yards and a touchdown. And it was just like, oh shit, Olave. And he ended up burying us. I mean, that was really it. And, it was very close because Moore actually had very close to a touchdown early in the game down the right side. And the guy just pulled his jersey from the back and got him to spin out of bounds. He was really close to getting there. So overall, I actually like the thought process here. Mahomes just super high floor here. Got the 2 receivers.
I preferred Mahomes to Daniels.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him. I think that Mahomes has like insane ceiling, insane floor. The Chiefs never run in the red zone. Like they are all about. I mean, you saw that they were like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid would have rather went to prison than not gotten Rashee Rice a touchdown.
That's right.
Game. They would have done anything to get Rashee a touchdown.
But this game was like super bad for me, right? Because I thought Mayer was a great play. I thought Ertz was a great play. I just didn't think Ertz was a must because it's like, look, Mayer got 31% of the targets last week. Jacoby Myers isn't even playing. Obviously, they don't have the team total Washington has, but it's like he should be highly involved. And instead, KC put it so far up the rectum of the Raiders that Mahomes doesn't get the bonus. He gets lifted. And I mean, the Raiders ran like 28 plays or something. They only ran like 28 plays. So you lost because of Mayer. Like you actually Mahomes outscored your primary competition by 7. Yep.
You lost because because the combo of Brees, Mayer, and the Giants defense.
You lost because you gave up a position. You gave up with Chris Moore at 3K, you punted a position with upside. So your thesis of fading Daniels, playing Moore makes that even worse. If you're gonna play Moore, I think you got to play Daniels if it's a coin flip versus Mahomes, because at that point you're already making a bet on Washington having some type of efficiency and scoring some touchdowns. Yeah. Otherwise, Moore is a terrible play.
I think Moore really only made sense with Daniels because you're basically saying Chris Moore scores like a long touchdown at some point because that's the type of player he is. I disagree with you, Boner Veins. I'm making a bet that Chris Moore gets like 6 targets and he gets like 4 for 70 or something. And
Hopefully he scores a touchdown. Maybe does, maybe doesn't. But I don't need to stack him to feel fine about him. I'm betting against Chris Olave. Chris Olave, who never gets there. Chris Olave, who's out of the dome. It's just like, okay, Chris Olave is not going to bury me.
Yeah,
I'll be okay.
Chris Olave in the fucking rain and the wind at Soldier Field. Just all right, you know what? I can't. Nate, just this guy fucking pays up $3,500 for the Broncos defense. He doesn't play Jonathan Taylor. He doesn't play CeeDee Lamb. Just gives everyone the blade. Nate, take your lap, man. Take your lap. You this is I consider this to be your absolute masterpiece here.
Yeah, when you look at volume and you project volume and then you see just discrepancies like this in pricing, you take advantage of it. And guys like Chris Olave at 5,400 and guys like AJ Brown are just underpriced for the volume that they're getting. And the fact that people are rolling out there JCM and Chris Moore and all this to pay up to get CeeDee Lamb, I get the Lamb projection, but you're just giving up so much to get that in. Where this lineup here, every single one of these players has access to a massive ceiling. Every single one of these players has access to a massive ceiling. The projected workload of this lineup, there is no holes except for Breece Hall.
He had 100 yards and a touchdown at the end of the first quarter, and Nate lived to tell the tale.
Jonathan Taylor puts 3 in the box. He lives to tell the tale. AJ Brown, who every other game is going 2 catches, 17 yards. Nate,
the AJ Brown play,
6 target game.
The AJ Brown play is obviously ridiculous, but I actually fundamentally I have no issue with it. The play that is terrible is the $3,500 Broncos defense. He always does this. He always shows up with the most expensive defense of a slate for no reason at all. He does this once or twice a year, and it just
no holes, man. I got the Broncos defense.
I wasn't going to get off Broncos D.
The Broncos D was so close to getting outscored by the minimum salary Cardinals defense. So close. So close.
Dude, the Giants were shutting out the Broncos. I don't know how they lost. I don't know if they gave up 33 points and lost this game. That's crazy shit. Oh my God.
Thing too, when you look at a lineup, how is it built from a range of outcome standpoint? And if you're relying on Chris Moore to get there so that you can get in some better projection from a volume standpoint, the 2v2 of Olave and Javonte versus JT and Chris Moore, I'll take that 10 times out of 10. And I think that's just how I'm going to play versus yeah.
Was that a 2v2?
That's essentially.
It was.
Can't hear you, Nate.
Nate, I think you have too many windows open. Your computer's slowing down. I think that I believe looking at his lineup, the 2v2 should be Chris Moore over AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor over Javonte Williams, and then Broncos D down to one of the plans. So it's basically a 2v2 when you include the D. I mean, his lineup is the same as mine, but it has AJ Brown instead of CD, Olave instead of Chris Moore, Jonathan Taylor instead of Javonte Williams instead of Jonathan Taylor, and then the Broncos defense instead of the Cardinals.
Yeah, AJ Brown gets 6 goddamn targets and he puts up 31.1. It's just what a charmed life for Nate.
AJ Brown is the lowest he has been price-wise. You'll never see AJ Brown at this price again. And when you have his ability, his volume expected at that price, I mean, this is insane. We would play Jacoby Myers at this price tag. And AJ Brown
you would play Jacoby Myers at this price tag, my friend.
AJ Brown is one of the most talented wide receivers we've seen, and we fade him at 5,800 for no reason. He should have been 6,500 here in the dome, versus the AJ Brown thing. It's total groupthink that he was only 1% owned.
Well, no, it's projections.
Yeah, it's projection think, bro. It's not like everybody read an article and they're like, wow, you have to play CeeDee Lamb. People looked at the projections and they were like, you know what? I'm I'm going to play CD Lamb.
He projected like good, but like not in an like I said, I actually think that this is probably good and sharp from Nate. I don't think that playing the Broncos defense was that good. And just like, I know Jonathan Taylor, I guess, was like a want play more than anything else. Like,
I didn't think so. I thought Taylor was like, dude, you just got to play him. Like, the Chargers are so soft. He is getting, his usage is just like so off the rails. Goal line, efficiency in the air. Like, he's gonna finish as the RB1 this year.
Yeah, he's the best player in fantasy.
He's like better. He's like better than Saquon was last year.
He's $2,100 more than Javonte Williams, who gets also incredible workload and is going to score touchdowns and is going to be in high efficiency spots. And so it's like you're comparing, like, obviously JT's volume is great. Obviously his production is going to be there, but like Chris Moore, what you give up when you take a guy like Chris Moore versus two guys like AJ Brown and Javonte Williams, or Chris Olave and Javonte Williams versus JT and Chris Moore. I just, the studs and duds there is just not worth it.
I hate to say this because Nate just faded the best plays of the slate and like made it work. Got 3 deep bombs to AJ Brown that all hit.
You just got to hand it to him. You got to hand it to him because
honestly, I'll take the L here. He's right. Like taking the punt at wide receiver 3, gave up too much, and you know, Nate really did have a good player at every spot. He didn't have the top end.
Okay, just let me.
But time out. If Jaden Daniels doesn't get hurt here and puts up a fourth quarter, he's gonna score Mahomes. And like, I don't even need AJ Brown's 31 points. I'm already up 15 points on the field. So like, give AJ Brown 15 points. I still win. It's about creating a lineup that has like range of outcomes where every single player has access to a ceiling, and it's a projectable ceiling. It's not like Chris Moore can fall into a 4-target.
Well, Ertz and Moore both would have scored, I think, a good chunk more they were. I know. I'm just saying, like, the Commanders were done at that point. They were not.
Yeah, they were done, and that sucked. But I mean, well, I literally can't refute Nate here. I think we just got to take the L. I'm taking it.
I guess what I would say is that not playing Lamb for AJ Brown, I find that to be an acceptable trade-off. Not playing Jonathan Taylor without Lamb is insane. I think is in this.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it. Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns. He had like 120 or 130 total yards, a couple catches, 3 touchdowns. CD Lamb, complete smash. If this was a more competitive game, they might have used him more, but he finished with 5 for 110 and a touchdown. And Nate didn't get buried. Like, that's the thing. Like, those guys put up like burial type of lines, and Nate's lineup was good enough not to get buried by it.
Lamb could have pretty easily been the highest scoring player of the slate had the Cowboys had any reason to continue playing.
For sure. I mean, when he scored that 74-yarder in the first quarter, I'm like,
okay. So I was looking at our 3-man, and at one point we were all within 3 points, and I was like, dude, Nate doesn't have Lamb. Like, this is gonna be insane. Like,
and
Nate
Taylor
doesn't have Lamb. And it just doesn't matter. Just, you know, all that has to happen is Nate needs Jaden Daniels to injure his hamstring and for Javonte Williams to just run downhill for the rest of the game for his fucking 2 yards at a time. The guy's so slow and shitty. Yeah, Nate, you were considering Jacobs. I thought Jacobs was not even close to in play compared to Jonathan Taylor.
I thought Jacobs was in play. Obviously illness and everything else got me off of him, but I definitely think he was in play at his price. Like, the workload that he's been getting, I don't think Jacobs is that far different than some of these other guys. The guy that I feel worst about is Breece Hall. I just think the Breece Hall projection, and I didn't realize that. Brees Hall's volume is not Javonte volume. New York Jets, you just gotta like discount that volume projection because it's so volatile. Like this offense is awful.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's the worst offense.
Yeah, why did we pay 6,300 for a goddamn running back of the Jets? Like, why? I mean, we just looked at the projections and it's like,
so good.
They say he's the best price adjusted play. Hey, jam him in. It's just like, God damn it. Like, I really didn't even like consider not having him in. I was just like, oh yeah, he's gonna get all the volume, playing a bad defense, it'll be great. It's not great, dude. I mean, that team is cheeks. They fucking benched Justin Fields finally. Like when they benched him, I was like, oh, we have a chance to get there. Nah, dude.
I ran into a big train on FanDuel, so had a good team with Brees. Actually, I did play Olave on FanDuel, so I got my Olave exposure there. But again, just a reminder, guys, if you're not playing on FanDuel, you don't even have to be good. You can even be me, and you can win on FanDuel. I had a little bit of a sweat towards the end for the Denver Broncos game in the red zone. Looks like a a Justin Herbert team with Van Jefferson ended up smashing big time. But I was up to 9th at one point in the red zone with, what did I have? I had Dak Prescott, Quinshon Judkins, DeAndre Swift, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman Jr., Rashee Rice, Jake Ferguson, J.K. Dobbins, and the Carolina Panthers defense. I knew that I didn't want to play Brees in tournaments, as we talked about. Made sense to play the Panthers defense. Honestly, I don't even really know why Dobbins was here. I think just because I knew he was like a decently I just cycled this spot through. Like I played Kamani Vidal in some, I played Jordan Mason in some, but basically I was just looking to fade the spot that Brees Hall would be in a bunch of lineups. I knew I wanted to play a Dak double. I knew that I wanted to play a DeAndre Swift lineup in that spot against the Saints because I was like, they're home favorite. They are going to be running. Yeah, this team was literally just the top sim ROI team on Run the Sims. It literally was. It was the top Dak double off Run the Sims. Like I just filtered by Dak with two teammates.
It's pretty saucy. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
What was the projected ownership? Judkins, Lamb, and Rice.
Oh, projected ownership. I don't know. Super fucking high. I did. There was no ownership that Rashee Rice could have been today where I was not playing him. They could Rashee Rice could have been on every single roster in a tournament. Now, because that's like you're talking about a $7,000 player who's mispriced by It's basically like, do you remember when FanDuel did this promotion a long time ago? You guys might not remember this. They did a promotion for Alex Rodriguez's final career game, and they made his salary
like $1.
It was like some promotional number. It was like they made him like $89 or like something, maybe a streak. I don't remember, but it was like basically like he was free. Like his salary didn't count against your lineup, and so you just played him because he was $0. That's what I thought Rashee Rice was. I thought he was like literally like a zero. Like he should have been in every team.
I played him on every tournament lineup. Like he was not coming out. No.
Yeah. And I honestly, I guess I didn't feel as strongly about Judkins, but I did play 100. I played Judkins on every team.
I did too.
Well. Yeah. I don't know. Looking at this team, like I considered swapping maybe off of Dobbins because, like I said, this was just a straight. I couldn't remember why Dobbins was in here, and then I realized it was because I did literally pull it off the computer this morning. I don't know. Maybe I could have. What would I have swapped? I guess I would have found a way to swap him to Javonte. Maybe. Even
that's another 1,100.
Yeah, so it doesn't even really. I would have gotten off Ferguson is what would have happened, and that.
Yeah, don't want to do that with the Dak double. I mean, Ferguson I think had 7 catches. Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
So the only thing I had locked was I had 26 from Judkins, 23 from Swift, 23 from Rice, and 17 from the Panthers defense. So I guess maybe I could have like resimmed it, but I don't know. I felt it was fine. Broncos scored a lot of points. Dobbins
they did. They just got behind first.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
they
I
did.
mean, you know, I Dobbins is a good play. Like they had a decent enough total. They were solid home favorites. Like, you know,
Okay,
he's 6% owned.
I've got the Nate Sims pulled up. So this is my team in the big spy. 100K to first. Mahomes, Jordan Mason, Quinshon Judkins, Rashi Lamb, Worthy, Zachary Ertz, Kamani Vidal, and New Orleans Saints. This is a 32% sim ROI team. Yeah, I probably would run this team back again, knowing that Worthy was not really owned, knowing that Vidal was not really owned, knowing that Jordan Mason was not really owned. I think it's totally fine to play the chalk because I did just think you lock Jordan, you lock Judkins, you lock Rashi Rice, and I maybe I didn't think Lamb was that good, but I felt he was pretty close to that territory of being a must play. Nate, what do you think about this team?
I like this team. I mean, I think the CD thing is interesting. I'll be interested to hear what people like analyze post lock. At that ownership, I don't know if I would say I would want CD Lamb. I think there's I think CD is probably a bad play at that ownership. I think Rice is still a good play at that because of his price tag and where he was. I think is probably a bad play at that ownership. And so other than him and Judkins came in a little steamy, but still I think is a good play. So yeah, I really like this lineup. I mean, Mahomes coming in at 12%. You get access to that ceiling. I mean, yeah, this is a really good lineup.
Yeah. And Vidal I really liked because I thought, okay, like he's leverage. He's positional leverage on like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, on Javonte Williams, like just a lot of ways for him to get a similar score or a better score for slightly less salary. So a slightly different build. This is Sammy's team. Sammy, what did you do in the big ol' spy? You're on mute.
Hey there. I actually think this was my red zone team. In the spy, I played a Mahomes double with Hollywood Brown and Rashi Rice. But in this one, I played a Herbert double. So I went Herbert, Quentin Johnston, who I said, you know, Quentin Johnston's like their straight up alpha deep threat. Really liked him. Of course, he got dunked on by ancient Keenan Allen. But it did have Aronde Gadsden at 1.3%.
That's beautiful.
Pretty fire. I mean, Gadsden, you know, I mean, he looks the part. You know, you see him on the field and you know ball, and you're like, this guy
looks
can
like
do
Darren
it.
Waller.
Yeah, he looks like Waller, man. He's big, he's fast, and you know, he ran like, I mean, he's been taking, you know, more and more routes, bigger and bigger market share as the weeks have gone on. And so I knew I really wanted to play him in this spot. At 3,300, a really good pivot off, you know, some of the other chalkier, you know, Mayer and Ertz, et cetera. And I did play Judkins in here. I did play Rashi Rice. This lineup's interesting because one of the first times I played 4 wide receivers in a lineup.
I was going to say, this is like a pretty chalky, like, well, you have some guys who are not chalk, but Rice and the flex, I bet was super unique. Like I bet so many of the Rice teams, like if you break it down, like Rice teams are 50% of the pool. I bet like 90% of those were 3 running back teams, not 4 wide receiver teams. So a way to get a little bit more unique.
Right. And, you know, you can call me a fish. I had an early guy in the flex. I'm my wife's out of town taking care of the kids. Like I wasn't even at home. I had 0% to swap. I'm like out at a park with my kids, and, you know, it just didn't matter to me.
The only thing that's shitty about this team is that you fell for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, so I did. So
it's just over, bro. It's over.
It's over. He's got no juice left, man. It's you know, he gave it all to his owners last year, brought him championships. It was great of him. It is now Joe over. But I did bring it back with Michael Pittman in this lineup because he was a good price adjusted play. So we talk about this a lot, but it's like you don't need to bring it back, right? But in the situations where the bring back is potentially like a good price adjusted value, it makes sense to do so. And then, yeah, I played a little Philly mini correlation here. Saquon Barkley, if I'd known he was going to come in at 21.6%, would not have played him. That's probably too high there. Justin Jefferson, the same, 23.5%. I clearly wasn't the only person to
I was going to say, Justin Jefferson, you feel so good if this turns over at 9%, and then you see he's 23%, and you're like, well, what's the fucking point? I should have just played Lamb. Like,
yeah, for sure. So this is probably going to sim like dick, considering those two guys are like over 20%. But I did like.
I bet the Gadsden stuff actually kind of helps it. Although I was not getting very much Barkley in the stuff I ran. Nate, did you? I played Barkley on FanDuel, and I immediately regretted it.
Yeah, I didn't get any Barkley. Sammy at the team, but I didn't run. I don't know what contest this was in. This was in the SPY.
No, it's in the red zone, the $50 big red zone.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't.
So I mean, it's basically like the SPY only half. It's about the same configuration.
Decent, because of the Gadsden, like that stack, I think will be decent. But yeah, the Barkley thing. Barkley's that fancy play that everybody was on.
Yeah.
It
just I wanted access to that game, right? And AJ Brown was the one who ended up putting a lot of points. Devontae Smith did great. Hertz got great. They just scored points in a different way than was good for this lineup. I didn't mind getting access to that game. I thought it was a good spot. Hashtag in the dome. But yeah, these ownerships with Jefferson and Barkley are not what I was hoping to get.
No, they were not.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Little min cash. Whatever.
We have a Nate Nohling, 120% sim ROI team with Chris Moore. He could not resist the siren song of Chris Moore. What is this, Nate? This is literally just like what? Almost 1v1 or 2v2 the cash team. A-Chain and Judkins in the same lineup.
I mean, A-Chain coming in at obviously he didn't get there, and if A-Chain even comes close to like a JT game or anything like that we all know that JT has that ceiling for, A-Chain at 3% here makes this lineup, and I thought he was a great play. I thought Jaden was the best tournament play quarterback, and so the fact that he came in under Mahomes made me feel good. Obviously, I wouldn't have played Judkins at this ownership, and I wouldn't play CD. But I thought that playing Chris Moore at 3K with Jaden was fine. Olave came in at 16. I think that was great. So yeah, I'd probably play this lineup again. But
so I want to point out yet again, Nate has a lineup where the ownership differential is far lower. Like, really only one guy, Quidshaw Judkins, was significantly above what was projected.
That's like the kind of the meta game that Nate is playing.
Nate, you have a really good feel for this year. You're putting together a lot of lineups where the ownership is less than projected.
And that's like, ultimately, that's what you like. If you look at this team, you'd think, oh, this is going to be a cash game lineup. I think my ownership sum was lower than both of yours. So like, even though mine looks way chalkier pre-lock, we'd all say like, that's not a tournament team, Nate.
Yeah.
But it actually like ends up being way less, but
yeah. No, this is a good team. I even think the Achane play is great. We've kind of been taught you don't necessarily really want to play opposing running backs in the same game. They have a bit of a negative correlation. But when somebody gets there in the manner that Achane can, I think it's more than fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like you could argue that the correlation was maybe even positive between them, because like a good Achane game is like, oh, he just caught 8 catches for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns or whatever. It's not like Judkins having a good game. There's no receptions in there. It's all downhill in the mud, whatever. Olave is just like always classically not going to be owned because people hate him. They're so
because he never gets there except for today.
Are the Saints on the main slate next week? It'll be so funny because now Olave's gonna they play
Olave
the
will be
Buccaneers
6K. He'll be above 6K now.
But you know what? He will be popular because it's a really good matchup. It's at home against the Buccaneers, a total run funnel. He'll be jammed. He'll be 22%.
Yeah, that'll be a game that people want access to.
Yes. Yeah. He'll be so I will be I look forward to getting positive sim ROI with my Rashid Shaheed teams next week. All right, boys, let's wrap this up. Everyone, thank you for listening. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll be back with you guys